What's up, Banger family? It's your girl, Banger Girl, and I'm back with another banger. In today's video, I'm switching it up a little bit. Normally I do trappy type tutorials, but today I'm in a chill mood. I got me a little vibe, so I wanna dive into the world of trap soul. So if you wanna know how I made this beat,
Banger girl.
then stay tuned because you don't wanna miss it. Let's get it. All right, Banger family. So we got our project open in Logic Pro. The BPM is set at 120. I'm going to change the key to D minor. No, I'm going to do C sharp major. I already loaded up the instruments that I'm going to be using, and I already loaded up the drum samples I'll be using just to save time. So we're ready to get rolling. We're ready to start creating our chord progressions. So y'all know that I'm Logic Pro gang. I'm Logic gang down. But where FL Studio has us beat is with their scale highlighting feature. Essentially what the scale highlighting does is when you select a key of a project, it keeps all of the notes in that key. So it visually displays the notes on the piano roll that belong in that particular scale that you've selected. Now Logic Pro has something called scale quantize. You first have to create a MIDI region and then change the pencil tool to the brush tool, and the scale quantize will be available. So if I went to C sharp, natural minor. Now, if you look at this screen right now, if you look at my piano roll, you can't tell which keys are in the actual C sharp minor scale. You can't visually see it. But in FL Studios, you would be able to visually see it once you select the scaling highlight feature. But I did some YouTube searching years ago, and I was able to figure out a workaround that I've been using to this day. So essentially, the way that you do it is you would start by building out your scale. The reason why I activated the brush tool is that when I click on notes, it will automatically place the notes that are in the C sharp minor scale. So I'm going to keep placing notes until I reach a C sharp. So I start at a C sharp and I end at a C sharp. So once you have the notes, what I do is I'll drag it out. Let me just increase it a little bit. And then now I'm going to start highlighting from this D sharp. I'm going to select option, and then I'm going to use, I zoomed out. I'm going to select option, and then I'm going to use my mouse to drag up D sharp. You would continue to drag and drop depending on how high of an octave range you want to go. And once you do that, what you would do then is loop. You would duplicate your track. You would create another region. And then you would highlight both of the tracks and mute this track. So now what we see are the keys that make up the notes that make up the C sharp minor scale, and it's easily detectable when we look at it. So let me just make this bigger, and let's start drawing out our chord progression. So I'm going to start on the root note, which is the C sharp. I don't need to necessarily use the brush tool anymore. I can use the pencil tool and just place it, but since I already have it activated, we're just going to do that. So I start on the C sharp. Now, another thing that you can do is select this option and it will display the notes. So now I know what notes we have. So I select C sharp. I'm going to skip a note and drop it on the next note, skip a note, drop it on the next note. So now we have a triad, which is basically a chord made up of the 3 notes. But I'm going to add another chord to make it a 7th chord, just to make the melody sound, you know, broad and have a little meat and potatoes to it. So this is what this chord sounds like. This chord progression sounds like. All right, so let's add our next chord. We'll start in the G sharp, skip a note, drop, skip a note, drop. We'll drop down to F sharp, skip a note, skip a note, skip a note. And then what I'm going to do is just copy this and shorten it. And then I'm going to copy this and put it right there. Let's make this a little bigger so it's easily, just so you guys can see. So these are my chords so far. Now another trick to create like a little tension, you can take, let's say, this note and move it up to the C. So I think we could delete this because those are all the notes I'm going to be using. Drag this over here. Let's loop it. And then let's just maybe move this here. So that's basically it. That's the meat and potatoes of my melody right there. Those are the chords I'm going to be using. So now I'm just going to drag and drop a copy of these notes to these tracks. And then make sure everything is muted. So there's a few things that you can do to spice up your chord. You could take all of the root notes and drop it down an octave. And that's simply done by selecting the note, pressing Option, Shift, and the down arrow. What it'll do is just expand like the range of the sounds. Now you could also, let's say, take the second notes and drop it down an octave just to add some more variation to just, it's still in key because we're using the same notes. We're just altering where they come in. Now another thing you can do is activate quantize, put it on the 1/16, and then if you wanted to get like kind of a strum effect, you would go where it says Q flam, hover over these, and I usually go to what is the one that I normally go to? 148. So then you get this effect. It's kind of like a strumming effect. It kind of gives it like a human feel to it as well, because, you know, as humans playing a piano, it's not, you don't necessarily hit all the notes on time, on point. Like, you know, there's going to be human error. So this is the processing that I have. I have Logic's channel EQ, just cutting out some of the lows and the highs. And then I have the Valhalla reverb. I believe this reverb is free. I think it's still free. And I just lowered the mix and brought up some of the low cut. And then that's what we have. Now, I'm kind of deciding if I'm going to add this Murder Melodies preset, the soul preset. It does add some like texture to it. It gives it a very, you know, soulful sound, I guess. I think for now I'll rock with it, and then if I don't like it down the line, I'll change it. All right, so now we're getting to the bass. So I'm going to basically take the same chord progressions that I use in the piano, and I'm going to use it in the bass. But what I'm going to do is delete all the notes, but keep the root notes, or like the bass notes. I'm going to bring this down an octave. So now what I want to do is I need to add vocals. Usually I go to Splice or I use Arcade. So I did find this cool little vocal like sample in Splice. I think I'm gonna put it real low and keep that. But I also found this Arcade sample, Love Talk, so I like it.
Oh, 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 oh. Take me somewhere. Ooh, 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 ooh. All I want is you. Oh, oh, oh. Take me somewhere. All I want is you. Take me.
I have this Rhodes that would essentially just copy the keys up above. Turn that down a little bit. Stereo delay. Let's see if we could add some toms up in this piece. And the last thing I added was this lead instrument. Added a channel EQ, some reverb, and then I added Portal to give it this pulsating effect. And as you can tell, it's pulsating and it sits behind, so it's creating like stereo width. And this is what it sounds with it. Banger family, there you have it. I don't think I'm going to really add any more elements. If anything, I might just mix it and master it and throw it on my beat store. I really enjoyed making this beat, and I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you haven't done so already, please make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're notified when I drop videos just like this one. And hit me up in the comments and let me know what you thought of this video. Let me know what you thought of this beat. I'm actually interested in doing collaborations with people, so if you're a producer and you want to collaborate, hit me up. My email's going to be in the description box, and I'll definitely get back to you as soon as possible. As always, stay safe, keep creating. Peace.